Welcome to Farmer's Daughter Fibers in Great Falls, Montana. Today we're not only getting a look at the store, but we're also heading over to the dye studio.
My name is Candice English, and I am the owner of Farmer's Daughter Fibers.
Let's go take a tour.
A lot of different things. When we first opened up, we had primarily just our yarn. We had so many people coming in here and being like, oh, I wish I could knit, or I wish I did this. I want to support you and buy something. So we've slowly added more of a gift section in front. We have a lot of tourists who come through. So we have a lot of different things. All of our products that we have that are non-yarn related, I would say 98% of them are women-owned, locally owned businesses. We try to highlight Montana as much as possible, but we have a lot of other things and they're all local. So yeah, jewelry, this all changes out kind of depending on the season. In the summertime, we do a lot of more camp Montana kind of themed stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, a lot of cowboy themed things.
It's appropriate.
Yeah, yeah. So just, again, a lot of different things. We love Portland syrups. El Guapo is another company. They're from the South, a woman-owned business of bitters and drink mixers. Lots of teas and stuff like that. Chocolates, a little kid section here. We really love doing self-care stuff. I feel like that's like so much of knitting is about self-care, so it lends really well to what we're doing too.
Yeah, I see lots of cute things.
Yeah. Yeah, besides like jewelry, art stuff, notebooks, those type of things, we have a nonprofit, Sisters United, and so we have some of our products right here, Sisters United. We have some bandanas and beanies and water bottles, and that all goes to Sisters United.
Awesome. And that benefit, I see the card here.
Yeah, so Sisters United, I started in 2019 for MMIW, so it's Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women. And it just kind of spiraled into being a nonprofit. A lot of people wanted to support, but they needed that 501c3. So we do a lot of different things. We have scholarships here in Great Falls that we do about $20,000 to $30,000 of high school scholarships every year for Indigenous students. We also have healing bundles, and those go to programs that are domestic abuse or addiction, recovery, those type of things, even schools, hospitals. And in the healing bundles, there is sweetgrass, sage, a Ojibwe meditation book, just some really nice, like beautiful products for people to be able to kind of have that more like emotional support, but then also feel really good. Sometimes when you're in those situations, you don't have like really nice things or things that are making you feel like more valued. So that's kind of our mission there.
Very cool. There's so many cute things to get as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Lovely.
A lot of watercolors, been really popular. So we love all of the watercolor stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our patterns and all of our fabric is over here. We have mostly Merchant and Mills fabric. We really love Merchant and Mills. It's one of the oldest mills, I think, in England that's still kind of doing things the way that they're doing them. So I feel like it is very cohesive with our dyeing and our yarn.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I love just like your brick wall here is so nice.
I know. I love all of the brick. I think it gives it such a nice aesthetic and warm feel in here. So
it's great.
Yeah.
And you have like a book section.
Yeah, we have a book section. I think that like I've curated the store of like what I love.
Some of your favorite things.
Yeah. They're like, we'll get a new package and they're like, is this for Candice or is this for the store? It's usually for both. All of our books are Indigenous authors or Montana authors.
Cool.
For the most part.
Very cool.
Yeah, so really fun. Another way just to keep people engaged too, I think sometimes you go into yarn shops and they can be so intimidating. Like they can be, I remember going into yarn shops before I knew how to knit, and it's so cool and it's such a like great textile, and even if you don't knit, but a lot of times you can feel really intimidated going into those stores and being like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't belong here. So I think by having other things, it does bring a sense of belonging for everybody.
Yeah.
Not just knitters and crocheters and fiber artists.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Draws you in, and then, you know, if you make your way to the yarn,
yeah.
even better.
Yeah, exactly. We will get you. We will teach you. So all a ploy.
And then you have your yarn up here.
Yes.
Well, the first bit of it, because there's a lot.
There's a lot, yes. Yeah, we can take a look at it.
Yeah, definitely.
All of this yarn on this wall right here is DK.
Okay.
And there is a mix of bases on here.
Awesome. I do want to talk about this bag though, because this is really cute.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Hide and Hammer. They do, it's called their number 3 bag. I'm like slightly obsessed with them. To me, it is like the perfect knitting bag because you can fit like 12 skeins in there and make it really big, or you can roll it up. I also love that it has like this little handle right here, so you can actually like stick your knitting in there and knit while you're chit-chatting or walking or whatever it is. And then we made these patches and sent them to them. So this is our exclusive bag with the little Western denim on there.
It's so cute.
Yeah.
That's actually great for like, that's something that would fit my lifestyle right now with like having to always consolidate stuff. And then like,
you can fit, yes, you can fit so much in there, but I also like that, like there's versatility that you can just put one small project in there too.
Super cute.
Yeah. More Merchant and Mills fabric here. All of our needles. We love Chai-Gu. Is our
actually
favorite.
have things in here?
Yeah, these are double pointed needles.
Oh my gosh.
And when we used to be in a different dye studio space. And so in there, we just had like this really tiny little retail. We had some like couches and stuff like that. So I did a lot of thrifting to kind of meet that aesthetic. And so these were old tool boxes.
Very cool.
Yeah. Of our like knitting accoutrements here. Big fans of Coco Knits and everything they do and all of their tools, and their company is just, yeah, we love them. So all of the things that you need / don't need. Yeah, and then this here is Reminisce and Recollect.
I love this yarn so much.
Yeah, I know, me too. It's one of my favorites. And then Confluence Cotton, which is new too.
Oh, cool.
And it's a cotton merino blend.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm not like a huge cotton fan, but I really like it with the mix of the wool in it. It's really, really soft and like spongy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And these were sport weight, right?
Those are sport weight.
Sport weight, okay.
Yep. Yep. And Confluence is a fingering weight. Squish Bulky, this is like locals' favorite, is the Squish Bulky.
Okay.
And then Reminisce and Recollect Worsted is up there.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And then you had all of these, all of that over there.
All of that is fingering weight. Yeah, it was so much yarn. Yeah, I mean, every base that we do, almost every base, we have some bases that we've retired, but they are not necessarily like, we'll still have yarn shops that carry them. Yeah. Or we have some of our Sock Squad yarn. But for the most part, all of our yarn
is here.
Yeah, is here.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful wall of Spin Cycle. Yes. I think that what we do and what Spin Cycle does just works so well together. Yeah. That we love having all of the colors, all of the bases.
Yeah. Do you have all of the colors?
We have just about every color. Yeah.
Wow.
Spin Cycle, when they release a color, they usually have it for a while and then it becomes available to wholesale. So sometimes we're like lagging a little bit, but we typically try to get almost every single color.
Do you have a Farmer's Daughter color?
Yeah, we have Slow Burn is our FDF colorway.
Which one is that? Is
it is... It's funny because
they're all so different.
And when we order it, we order like in a big, like 500 at a time.
Yeah.
And so the variations are very wide.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's really pretty though.
Yeah. I do too.
Oh, and this is yours too.
Yeah, that's Spinster's Daughter. So that was a collaboration with Spin Cycle and us. So it is their dyed-in-the-wool base that is bare, and then they send it to us and we dye it, and then we keep half of it and we send half of it back to Spin Cycle. Oh. So it's a really great collaboration. It's been really, really fun to do that with them.
This is another one of my favorites. Like I have a sweater out of it and just, I love this yarn.
I do too. I'm making a tank top right now out of it and I just love how bouncy it is, and the ply, there's something I feel like really special about it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we have classes back here. A lot of times if you come in during the day, you'll find us working back here. We do private lessons and we do group classes, so it's really fun. And then we have the Dolly Parton wall here too, which I love Dolly Parton when it's one of those things like somebody finds out you love something and then you just keep getting things. So somebody bought me a Dolly, a friend of mine bought me a Dolly Parton picture, and then I got another one, and then now everyone just brings Dolly Parton things in. So
that's really
we love her. And I think she like embodies so much of what we're about here too.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And then upstairs you have
we have our offices. Yeah. We originally had the table actually upstairs and we had our little knitting corner there. But as we've grown, we've like needed the space. And so we've slowly moved things down here.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, so all of this wall is fingering or lace weight. We have Odang and Mighty Mo up top, which are like the nice fuzzy yarns. Odang is alpaca and silk. Mighty Mo is mohair and silk. And then, a lot of different fingering weights. Squish fingering is a really great, just like kind of workhorse fingering weight yarn. 100% merino, superwash.
Nice.
So if you like a superwash, 100% merino, it's a really great yarn. Sue Copy, that's one of our non-superwash bases. All of our non-superwash bases come from a mill in Wyoming. And so they are all Montana and Wyoming Rambouillet. They also will call them a mountain merino, but it's the same thing.
Okay.
The
Mountain
Rambouillet.
merino is Rambouillet. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And we have a little bit of moondrake, Fua Fua, which we don't carry. I mean, I would love to like carry a bunch of other yarns here, but when people come here, we mostly are a destination yarn shop. Like that is what supports our yarn shop, is people traveling and coming in. And they want to buy Farmer's Daughter.
Right.
So I've tried to bring in other bases, but I love Moondrake and I love Fua Fua. It's cashmere. It's like this luxury. It's like, and the colors are so much different than what we kind of do too. So it's fun.
Well, will you show us, like, we've gotten to see a lot of your bases already, but will you show us like maybe a handful of your more unique ones or like some of your favorite ones?
Yeah. So I think that just like on this wall here, Sue Copy is definitely unique. It is, it's a fingering weight. It can, it has 248 yards per 50 grams. So it can, well, like on paper, it actually leans more probably lace weight. It can be subbed for a sport weight because it's so plump. I think sometimes the single ply scares people because single ply can equal pilling, but we don't find that it pills as much as like a superwash single ply would. And so it just like bounces off your needles. It's really, it's really, really nice. It's one of my favorites. I'm definitely lean more towards the non-superwash yarns. Boxy Lady is really great for summertime, for tanks, tees, that type of thing. I just did a tee in this color here.
Ooh,
so
that's pretty.
Yeah.
So this one's 30% silk and 70% superwash merino, single ply.
Single
so yeah, the
ply.
two next to each other, it's so interesting to see. One's very, has that sheen to it. And so what kinds of like things would you make out of the, do you say this again?
Sukapi.
Sukapi,
yeah, and Sukapi means good in Blackfeet too.
Oh.
Yeah, so I love knitting sweaters out of it. If you are someone who likes to knit fingering weight sweaters, or like cowls is like, and mittens are other favorites of mine. Yeah, and and Foxy Lady is good for, again, tees, tanks, and shawls. Like, it definitely is drapier where you're gonna find your bounce there. I would say one of our most popular bases is Oh Dang. You can tell I'm like obsessed with this color right now because it's just the one I keep.
How did you come up with the name for this?
The Celadon Kush. I think that Alec came up with that.
Oh yeah?
It's usually like a big brainstorm, and like we'll be like one thing and then it leads to like, you know, it's a rabbit hole.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What about the Oh Dang base?
Oh, I think that I had sent this to Caitlin Hunter, and she was like, "Oh dang," when she felt it.
Soft.
And so I was like, "That's a great name. Oh dang." When you feel it. Yeah, so it is one of our most popular ones. It is silk and cereal alpaca. I feel like it's very versatile. You can hold it by itself and do more of like a lace, kind of traditionally what you're gonna do with a yarn with, you know, this thinness. It plumps up quite a bit though, so you can use it in color work. You can also hold it double and use it just to like knit a sweater. It changes the fabric so much when you hold it double. So
very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of hard to choose on this wall what is like my favorite, but again, like Pishkin, it's a non-superwash. It is another really popular one, and one of our local ones too. So it's gotten a lot softer over the years, and it reminds me of, once it's knit up into like a sweater, of like a vintage sweatshirt that's been washed. Like, you know, kind of that inside feel that's like soft, but like a little nubby too. And so it is 255 yards. And again, that Montana and Wyoming Rambouillet.
Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, really love that. It can also lend even towards like a worsted weight. I'm knitting a hat right now that calls for a worsted, and I'm using Pishkin. So
yeah, I was
like
feeling your hat, and it's so nice.
Yeah, it's like a heavy DK.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another really popular one is Bear Paw DK, and that is 231 yards. It's yak, silk, and merino.
Oh, wow.
It's dyed on a gray base, so you get all of these really rich colors with it. People really love knitting with it. It's so soft, and it drapes really nicely.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and then a DK weight version of Oh Dang, and that has been really popular. Andrea Mowry designed the broom sweater out of that, and so it's so lightweight. When you put it on, it doesn't even feel like you have anything.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't see a lot of DK weight, like fluffy yarns like that, and it's so fun.
Yeah, it's really fun to knit with.
Cool.
And then Juicy DK, I love for it captures the colors the best. Out of any other of our bases, I feel like it captures like the true color. All of our testers are always done on Juicy DK. And so, and it has the most amount of colors. I think we have over 100 colors in solids and speckles, and most of our speckles are on the Juicy DK. And that leans closer to like a sport weight than it does a worsted weight.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then another favorite is Recollect and Reminisce. People love this base. It is a sport weight. I like exclusively knit with this for a few years, and finally I'm like back out dabbling in other things, other bases. So it's a 2-ply, very traditionally like sport weight. It's 185 yards per about 50 grams, 2 ounces, I guess, so a little more than 50 grams. and it's just really, really nice to work with.
So tell me the difference between the Recollect and the Reminisce.
Yes. The only difference is Recollect is dyed on a gray base and Reminisce is dyed on a white base.
Okay.
So you can see like this is Clay Dreaming, same color.
Oh.
And this is on the gray base and this is on the white base.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Love these. I love the tonals. I love putting them next to each other.
They kind of just like work together. Like you could use the two colors together.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's like
that's
my fan favorites there. So
perfect.
Yeah.
My name's Emily. I work as the shipping lead here at the Farmer's Daughters Fiber. So all of our online orders get gathered up, packaged, and shipped out by me.
So how many orders do you typically get each day?
It varies. So on a slower day, we might get 10 to 20. And then when we have a release for a really big product or new sweater or kit, things like that, it can get way larger. Like I've seen 100 orders come in at a time, things like that. So it's super fun because every day is going to be different in terms of like volume and then all of the different stuff that gets ordered. It can vary between, you know, someone orders earrings to they order 12 skeins of yarn. So yeah, it's super fun.
What sweater are you wearing?
I am wearing, let me look at the tag. I grabbed it this morning.
Is that a sample that you pulled off? That's so funny.
Yes, that's one of the perks. We get to wear any of the shop samples, which is super fun. Yes, I'm like, it's great. It's the Halfway by Jamie Hoffman.
Oh yeah.
And it's knit with the Foxy Lady and Mighty Mo.
Awesome.
So it's actually really soft. And then the mohair gives it that like halo. So
very cool.
Super fun.
Hi, I'm Xander English, and I'm the Chief of Operations here at Farmer's Daughter Fibers, and AKA Head Dyer. We're going to do a tour of the dye facility here, so come on, let's go.
Tell me what's going on here. You're like all set up for the day?
Yep. So these are basically all of our empty pots that we're going to fill with water and eventually get the dye bath and then get soaked with yarn. Amazing. Or the yarn will soak in them and then we heat them up on all of our burners here.
Oh, I see that. So is all of your yarn, like, would you call this like kettle dyed or?
Yep.
And you do it all this way?
Yep.
Beautiful.
So everything gets dunked and spun, heated up. And then the next morning, every morning we cool down, everything's cool. We go through our spinners. We have a wool wash that we use, that we make in-house. Wash everything down, clean it all out, and then spin it out. So it's nice and clear and dye-free, but hopefully by the time it goes to you guys.
So what is your like daily number of skeins that you go through?
Oh,
a lot.
It's well, it depends on the day and depends on the base that we're doing. So some of the bases we can only fit a couple in each pot.
Okay.
We're limited by space, and some of the stuff that we're doing now is pretty bulky. Like our Odang DK, we can only fit 3 of them in a pot, and it's pretty heavy duty stuff. So
is that one Surrey?
Yeah, alpaca.
Oh, nice. Because you have outside like 2 shipping containers that are full of
backstock and stuff ready to be dyed, and
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so get soaked and dyed, and then you come in the next morning.
Yep. And then we pull all the pots down. So usually when we come in the morning, there's usually a pyramid of pots. So all these pots are just basically sitting here waiting to get flopped and filled and then put onto burners.
What time do they start here in the morning? Because we're here pretty early.
We start at 7 every morning.
7.
Yep.
Wow. That's great.
And in the summer times, we try to start around 6 because it gets too hot in here. It gets really, really hot.
Yeah, it's nice right now.
Yeah.
The doors open, everything. Yeah. Okay, so these are steaming. What's happening here?
This is the dye, how we lay out all the dye, basically based upon what weight yarn we're dyeing today. And we have some calculations, and our recipes have now grown. So we used to dye. We used to dye in small, little, tiny 1-quart jars, and we went to 2-quart jars, and now we use our old recycled dye buckets to mix dye in.
Very cool. Oh, so you used to be dyeing in these smaller buckets?
No, mixing dye.
Oh,
I'm
mixing
sorry.
dye.
Yeah, the dye that we pour in. So these are we fill them up generally about halfway with hot water, and then we blend them out with our emulsifying blender.
Oh, cool.
So they kind of blast all the chunks and gets it all mixed up nice.
Very cool.
Gets the dye all mixed up. So basically all this dye is just sitting here waiting for, so what we're dyeing today is it's a worsted weight yarn that it's a collaboration that we're doing with another company.
Ooh,
so, yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So we're kind of getting our palette lined out with that and some projects in the works. So we're hurrying up and dyeing a bunch of this as much as we can to get it out to some testing people, and yeah.
So how many skeins are in a bucket over here? So
there's probably about 200 in each bucket. I would say, usually about 200.
Oh my gosh! So this is a lot of yarn.
Yeah.
So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So you're gonna dye like 1,000 skeins today?
Hopefully, if that's what we can.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of yarn.
So yeah, and it's right now it's pretty quiet back here.
We kicked everyone
but
out.
it's about to get real turned up. We listen to a lot of loud music, and it kind of motivates us. It's a lot of hard work, but it's fun.
Awesome. Very cool.
It fun. Do you want to see the dish pit where we wash dishes?
Sure. Well, I'm noticing you have pans too.
Yeah.
Do you do some dyeing?
Yeah.
In pans?
So these pans, we use these pans to do our variegated and speckled colors.
Okay.
So, and these, we can lay out yarn in these pans and have a really accurate way to dye a large amount of yarn and replicate colors very well. It's easy to replicate and get consistency with these pans and with the proofer and stuff. So I can train people how to dye yarn by using pans and certain techniques that we've developed. And this is AJ. He's our head speckler. He does most of our speckling and almost all of our speckling in variegated yarns. So he's going to kind of just show off a little bit of his technique and how he goes about doing some of the speckling and applying the powder dye.
Are you getting in here and dyeing? Or are you like developing colors? Is that more?
Yeah, both. Yeah, I come in every morning and help pull wet yarn and rinse and spin and hang, and I don't make dye too much anymore. I just basically pour it and follow the dye list and line out all the work for the day. Yeah. So I pour a lot of dye, and those guys come in and dunk right behind me and keep going and going and going and keep flopping pots up onto burners and getting them onto rolling carts. And it's a well-oiled machine. We've got a pretty good little system and a really good crew, so it helps. It's a lot of work.
Cool. So you said back here is
This is just the dish pit. Yeah, these are all dyes that we've leftover dyes from different dye lists that we have. So we keep a lot of stuff on hand, and if we need to touch stuff up, it's just all of our colorways. You can film this too if you want.
I'm looking for the colorway that I made my sweater with last year, but I actually don't remember what it was called. Maybe this one?
Teresa?
I don't know. It was like a purpley blue. I don't remember. Oh, actually one of them I think was Bitterroot. That was a lighter purple.
What about?
Really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is just all in case we have to touch something up or if something comes back for a re-dye. Dye is expensive, so we generally keep a lot of it. Even if we have a little bit left over, we tend to keep it around for as long as we can until we need the jars to have to empty them out again.
That's great.
Yeah.
Super cool. And then you have, so is this all dye powder down here?
Yeah, this is all just our back. So this is our dye station where all of our dye gets made. All of our recipes are here. And so we have
in a recipe box.
Yeah, in a little recipe box.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So we have like retired colorways, and we have our Sock Squad and our Indigenous Collective are 2 monthly subscriptions that we do. And every month we come up with new colorways. And it's the Sock Squad is a monthly subscription for sock weight yarn usually. Oh, nice. But the Indigenous Collective is is different weights with new colorways every month. So we're always, literally every month, we're coming up with 3 to 4 new colorways for minis or the accompanying full skeins and stuff like that.
Super cool.
Yeah. So we have a lot of retired colorways back there that if we need something, we can go back to.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Shall we go into the next space?
Yeah, we can go ahead. Yeah. So this is basically our drying center for the yarn that we dyed yesterday. This all just came out of pots, got washed and spun out. So now we just hang it here to dry.
Oh, awesome.
And it kind of sits here and does its thing all day. So when we come in the morning, our skeiner usually comes in and pulls all the yarn down and then puts them in these laundry carts and associated either by colorway and by weight. So she can line them out, and accompanying dye lists can get organized and set out, and it's pretty neat. We kind of have a mountain of yarn every morning. It's always different colors. And
so you have like a 3-day, like it's getting soaked and then it's getting dyed. And then that yarn moves here the next day and then here the next day.
Yeah, basically.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it just kind of sits here and blows in the fans all night, and in the morning it's hopefully dry by the day. But yeah, and then so it goes on to this, and from there it goes into these laundry carts, and then it goes to the twisting machine skeiners.
Okay, got 2 skeiners here.
Yeah,
awesome. Those are so cool.
Yeah, these have been invaluable. They've saved us so much time and effort.
Awesome.
Yeah. And all of our reusable zip ties go into buckets, and then we take them back into the back. And when we have a large amount, and then we soak them in some, what is it? What do we soak them in? Soft scrub.
Oh, to get any like.
Yeah, to try to get all the dye out of them and try to get them all down. So we got a big tub that we stir, a muck bucket, like a horse muck bucket, that we stir them up with a PVC pipe, get all the dye off of them. And then they come back up here, and then we go into the shipping container, and anything that comes in that's white and dry and ready to get zip tied and dyed. So
wow. So this is all stuff that's going out?
This was our Sock Squad going out.
Oh, wow.
So we just finished up all that. And that's a monthly subscription thing that is pretty fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So if yarn's going to the store, do you just like throw it in your car and take it over?
Yeah, it goes in these IKEA bags. They get labeled, tagged, and categorized and bagged up by their weight and colorway. And then when they go downtown, they can be put out either on the floor or into backstock and go onto the website.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is all your backstock at the store?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a big library in the back of yarn.
Ooh, exciting.
This is my amazing crew, people that help me dye here. These guys are awesome, rock stars. This is Dave, Nick, and that's Sean back there without the mask.
Tell us about the history of Farmer's Daughter Fibers. Actually, First, can we start with, are you a farmer's daughter? Because I've always wondered that.
Yes, I am a farmer's daughter. I grew up on a ranch in between Browning and Cupbank, Montana. So right on the High Line.
Oh my gosh. What kinds of, was it animals?
It was cattle and then also farmer and rancher. So
oh my gosh.
yeah.
Very
Yes,
cool.
lots of wheat and all the things.
I don't know anything about farming. Okay.
Yeah.
So then when did you start dyeing yarn? Like what made you want to start Farmer's Daughter?
So it was probably in 2015, 16. I'd done a lot of plant dyeing, and this was kind of before, like, people were definitely hand dyeing and plant dyeing, but there wasn't as much knowledge as there is now. So I was doing a lot of plant dyeing, and then I was in early childhood education before this, and just having like a mini early midlife crisis.
I can understand. I was an elementary school teacher. So,
yeah. And I think like love it, but the pay is just never going to be like what it needs to be for teachers. And so that was really challenging. So just decided to go all in and start hand dyeing yarn.
That's exciting.
Yeah. So I started in my basement and like had this like little 1950s house. And so had, kind of in these basements, they have these like old workbenches and stuff like that. So I had my workbench, just started dyeing, took over another room in the basement, took over another room in the basement, took over another room in the basement. And then by 2018, we had grown enough where it really felt like I needed to scale back and just do a small little operation or go big. And so that's when I brought on Xander, my husband. He was in the Air National Guard previously.
Oh.
Yeah. And kind of the same thing, like wasn't super happy with his career and all of those things. And just like, I think it's such a different lifestyle being a business owner. Definitely a lot of challenges, but a lot more freedom too. And so brought him over to the dark side.
And he started dyeing yarn, right?
And he started dyeing
yarn. This is pre-store still?
This is so we moved into this building that was an old laundry facility for a hospital, an old hospital here in town. And it was really perfect. I mean, I walked in and they had like benches lined up and everything just that we needed. So we moved in there. We had a small, tiny little retail shop with some of our yarn, and we would do Stitch and Bitch every Wednesday. People would come in, we would have events, but it was very small little retail shop. And then that just grew and grew and grew until we couldn't be there anymore. Yeah. But Xander definitely brought a part of more consistency, where I'm more of an artist of like, yeah, let's do this. Oh, let's do this. Yeah, maybe try this. And so he is much more consistent. So really brought this piece that we needed in the company of more of like a machine factory, still with all of the intentions that we're bringing to it, but just a little bit more consistent.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And so when did y'all get into this building?
We moved into this building actually in September of 2020.
Oh.
Which was an interesting time. But I also knew that one thing that like Montana, we have such more wide open spaces here. People were coming here, traveling through here. We knew that into 2021, we would have more people coming through, just kind of escaping the city. We also knew that when the pandemic was slowing down or people were coming back out, that they were going to want to come out in full force. I think that we wanted to add more of a collective feel to our company. And so by having the retail shop, we've been able to accomplish that.
So tell me about this building here. Like, what was this before? Because you've got beautiful floors and beautiful ceilings and this really cool door back there.
So originally, like in the late 1800s, it was a men's like tailor retail shop, which I think is really cool because it's like full circle into more of a woman's, I mean, not that men can't shop here, but it's definitely a female dominated industry. So I love that. And yeah, so both of these buildings, this one here and the one next door, were all men's retail. So they had like suits and shoes and all of those things. And then over the years, it's been a lot of different things. The mezzanine is an addition that wasn't here originally, but it works very well. And the door, I'm not really 100% sure. The artwork on the door and all of that is original. So it's hand painted on there. And you'll find some of his work around Great Falls, the artist that's on there, Modisette, I believe is his name. We've looked him up. He's originally from Minnesota. We can't open the door, but apparently there is just like a little room back there. So
that's a really neat.
Yeah.
A secret room.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we already learned a little bit about Sisters United, but I think it's such an amazing thing that you're doing. Is there anything else like you want to include?
Yeah, so people can support Sisters United at sistersunitedmt.org. You can look more and see more on there. We do have an Instagram and social media. I don't really upkeep it very much because it's just kind of another thing and takes me away from the work that needs to be done. But we do a lot of different things. This year, we're going to work more on some food sovereignty things here in Great Falls and providing more support for our food banks. We have a subscription called the Indigenous Collective. And so every month we highlight a different artist and dye yarn inspired by either the artwork or the artist. And it can range from a book to traditional art to music to a movie, just anything really Indigenous related in the arts we're highlighting. And when you get your yarn, you can go onto a blog, you'll get a passcode and be able to go and read about whatever the artist is up to and find their socials and order more yarn if you want to. But $1 from every subscription goes to Sisters United as well. So that's a fun way to support.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, last question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have anything coming up in the next few months that you're feeling excited about, either for Farmer's Daughter or it can be personal?
Yeah. Gosh, I have so much. I feel like we have Spencer's Daughter Worsted coming out, and so really excited about that. Love collaborating with the Spinsters, and that is going to be really fun. It's such a lovely base. I think that we have been a little bit lacking in our worsted section here, so it's really the perfect addition. So excited about that. We have some retreats coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we do our retreats here in Montana, Big Sky retreats. And so we'll have one in September coming up. And then we're also doing a lot of retreats next year. Ooh. So we're going to do knit ski. Yeah.
Because I had a friend that came on last year's and she was like, it was just so amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, not this year, but maybe next year is my year of retreat.
Yes.
And I'll just do retreats around the country.
Yes. That sounds like a great plan.
I know, right?
Yeah, so we're going to do one in February called Knit Ski. And so that one will be really fun. We have some great teachers for that. Rachel from Ritual Dyes and I do one in Tulum. So we're going to do that one again too. And Jen Berg is coming with us. So that's really exciting. Yeah. So maybe you'll have to come to Mexico.
I was going to say, I'm so down for that. So that one, when is that one happening?
That one is going to be in April of 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And we'll probably do maybe a summer one here in Montana again.
Super exciting.
Yeah. Really fun.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having us here today.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Yeah, it's been really fun.
It's time for me to go and shop.
Okay, perfect.
For some sweaters.